Edmonton's best rock, 100.3 The Bear, AC/DC. They're awesome. It's 7:41. Yukon and Jill.
And it looks like it's 3 degrees now and rain and getting up to about 5 for today.
And back in the studio for the first time since we had a little pissy pants hissy fit between the three of us. Paul Brown. Paul, welcome back. Welcome home.
We did have a little pissy pants.
Yeah, it was a big pissy pants hissy fit. Everyone's bothering me all weekend about it. So I'll just...
Okay.
The floor is yours, dude. What do you got to say?
All right.
Would you like me to recap what happened? For those that may have missed it?
No, I can do it. I mean, I can sort of speak from where I've been. Let's, I guess, you know what, if you wouldn't mind sort of recapping, maybe that would be good. I kind of feel weird.
There was a sex tape that leaked via Eden security camera. It caught Paul having a relation with a young lady at the club. It made it onto some of the staff's Facebook site from there. From there, I posted it. From there, we kind of had a blow up, I guess, about covering for you and your behavior. You put Jill and I in some really awkward situations over the past 5 years, and obviously I didn't handle it quite professionally as maybe as professionally as I should have or could have.
You kind of jumped down his throat a bit.
Yeah, but
that's the way you react to a lot of things. You're like a lightning bolt.
But we were both very frustrated, and it had been a long time coming.
True.
And been building for a long time, and really hadn't worked any other way. We've had lots of discussions off air that came to nothing. So we kind of aired our dirty laundry.
Yeah. Well, first of all, for me, I'm going to start backwards to a sense. A lot of people want to know what sort of happened between Yukon and I. Why do I have a sex tape? What the hell is going on in my life? I'm going to sort of start off with just kind of apologizing to, I think, the person that needs the apology the most, who's been sort of, dragged through the mud the most, and that's Allison, my wife, and what she's gone through. I mean, she, living with me for the last couple of years has really been kind of a nightmare in a lot of ways. Not most ways. And, let's start there. So I got to give you a background, radio aside, you two aside. You don't live with me. It's been hard enough on you two. I know that. But, I've had my battles with drugs and alcohol quite heavily in a lot of ways. And I'm not talking weed here. I'm talking, cocaine. I'm talking, alcohol. I've partied pretty hard. And with that came it's the old cliche. It's, with that came the women and I live in the sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Sure.
So I lived that lifestyle a little bit and was married and, just, what? I'm not reinventing the wheel. I was a lying, just selfish pig that did whatever he wanted and didn't care what she thought. So, and that's the truth. So, there's probably more sex tapes out there. There's been many women.
Hopefully they're more
than dozens. And it's terrible to say. I've talked to Allison, so she's, we're working it through, and we're not going to be together, but we're working through being civil, and so that's sort of that's where I've come from. I've come from a background of all this radio stuff aside, the sex tape, the blow up, Yukon and I arguing, that doesn't matter. My past has certainly been like I say, had some issues with drugs and alcohol, had some, and that with that came everything else, or vice versa. With I love the attention. I love girls. I love there's a certain kind of find a guy that that's cheating and ask him why he's doing it. A married guy with a couple of kids, and they'll probably give you the same answer. It's kind of exciting. It's all part of it. So I definitely live that lifestyle. So Allison's the first person I want to apologize to, and I've done that obviously in person. But and then secondly to you two, Jill and Yukon for years of putting you guys through the ringer, and having to. It's what people don't realize when you're married and you have girls on the side, and I'm talking like girlfriends, and you guys know, years. You guys are covering up a lot of tracks,
right?
And then you guys stop hanging around me. You don't want to be around anybody that I'm around because you never know who the hell I'm going to bring, or it's very awkward. So I apologize for that. I don't know. That's kind of where we're at. And the sex tape's not brand new. You know what I mean? It's not like it happened yesterday, but it's, certainly I'm not going to, my behavior it's not like I haven't been a pig for, years. I'm trying to put a halt to it here. Mm-hmm. And it's day by day, It's, I'm not a saint. I'm separated. I've been separated for a little while.
Right.
So, some people have seen me around with different girls as of late. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm separated, and Allie can see people, and I can see people, and so that's kind of where it's at. It's sort of weird to have your private life, to be so public now. Mm-hmm. The other part too is the embarrassing how quick my sex tape was. It was 2 minutes.
It'll be nice when we can get to the point where I can actually really start busting.
You know what? I've gotten to the point. If you guys knew how bad my behavior was, which you guys do mostly,
right?
That sex tape isn't even. That's like the tip of the bad, horrible things I've done. Iceberg, in terms of So embarrassment wise, whatever. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing, but I'm mostly shocked and horrified, and I've been feeling like crap, and I have so much guilt, and I'm in therapy, and what I did to Allison, that is not fair to anybody. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When you treat something like that, it's actually disgusting. It's horrible. I actually battle guilt every day, and just the way that poor woman. I was just drunk and out of control, and just lied to her and screwed everything and neglected her. But you know what? I will say, even today, Allison and I, in some ways, I know she's just a saint in that way. She's a real sweetie, and I tell you one thing I'm doing. I can't get into specifics, but I am doing, and you guys know this. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm doing what I got to do to sort of clean up a bit of it. That makes sense. So,
is it safe to say you wanted to be caught?
Oh God, yeah,
yeah, and that's something. I was in the bar on Friday night.
I think I've told that to you before.
Sure, yeah. I was in the bar on Friday night, and people are, what, is this real? And I'm like, have you ever seen him around town with a,
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time. That's why I thought I didn't know. So it's kind of. I sense like it's kind of obvious this weekend sucked and everything sucked last week.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, all right, now we can move on.
Totally,
and we can quit.
I think people that start to behave like that, and lots of people have, it is a cry. You just, for whatever reason, it's dysfunctional. Instead of talking to your spouse or whatever that person is or that problem is, you just act like crazy in order to get out of it. It's probably better to talk to that person and say, this is how I'm feeling, but that wasn't the case. So that's sort of it, I guess. It's kind of weird that tape came out. There's a whole other issue with the guy that posted and all that, but
and we fielded a few questions about that. Do you want to talk about that?
We can talk about that later.
Sure.
But anyway, so that's kind of all I got to say.
All right. There you have it.
I think it was well put. And especially when you're in the middle of all that, to kind of come full circle to speak that way.
Yeah.
In the middle of that, you'd never think that way.
Yeah.
You're just going through it.
Yeah. It's sort of a mess. It's weird that it's so public, but yeah. So that's the way she goes.
Way it is when you work in radio. Yeah. Tee up something.
All right. On the way, whatever. We'll move on with the show. We're back. Go. Roll with it.